Thank you. I would like to take you through this Acumatica course for beginners. So this is what you basically need to know in order to start using Acumatica ERP. So in this video, I'm using a localhost environment which I have preloaded with some sales dataset. Before we log in into Acumatica, you need to know the version of Acumatica which you are using. In this scenario, I am using Acumatica ERP 2025 R2 with the build number 2520100213. You need to know the version of the Acumatica which you are using, because every version has its own challenges which you need to bear in mind. And basically, Acumatica usually do 2 releases every year. Like in the year 2025, we have the Acumatica ERP R1 and Acumatica 2025 R2. Basically, in this scenario, I'm using Acumatica ERP 2025 R2. But currently, we are having Acumatica 2026 R1, which is more integrated with AI, but its concept remains the same. So first thing first, in order to get into this course, we shall log in as an admin. So you shall just log in with your credentials, and we can be able to walk through this system. So in this scenario, I log in as an admin. So you need to have your credentials and your password. So basically, Acumatica is powered by an engine called SQL. So that means being a cloud ERP, your data is always safe because it is saved at the cloud and it is close to impossible to lose your data. So I log in as an admin basically. So let me log in as an admin into the interface and see the interface. So when you log in into Acumatica, you can set to be welcomed by this beautiful dashboard, which technically displays how your business is operating. As you can see, here we have order shipment, late shipment, and so on and so forth. But basically, I would like us to first begin this course by understanding how companies are configured in Acumatica. In this scenario, we have companies which are configured as branches, and in some scenario, some companies can be configured as a different tenant, which are sharing the same database and also sharing the same instance. But we shall walk toward that. But in this scenario, I want to make it as simple as possible so that it can be for end user need and can be able to help you to work with Acumatica immediately you watch this video. So when you log into Acumatica, you need to know how your companies has been configured. So as you can see in this scenario, we have this configuration here where we have 3 companies which have 4 branches. So in these 3 companies, we have a company named as product, we named as capital, product, and services. So, but you can notice under the capital, we don't have branches. It is an autonomous company. But under the product, we have 2 companies, which is the product retail and the product wholesale. And under service, we have 2 branches also, which is the service east and service west. So what you need to know is that if these branches has been configured as autonomous branches, or they depend on the parent in the balancing of the account. So, but we shall be able to deal with that. But this is how you notice the company configuration. Also, this is not the end. You can also be able to view the company configuration also by coming to where we have these options. So I would like first to give you the overview of the option and then get to the company configuration sitemap. So under these options, we have the favorites. So this is where you can save the favorite option which you usually use. So, or what we basically call the sitemaps in Acumatica. We also have something we call data view, where we have different inquiries which you can like to learn from your database. You have the inventory planning, where you can be able to do your inventory planning. Time and expenses, where you can be able to manage time and your expenses. Finance, this is where you get your balance sheet and your P&L and so on and so forth. You have something we call banking, where you can view the cash transaction, fund transfer. So anything related to banking is under the banking option. So under this module, we have the payables, where you can be able to learn bills and adjustment, checks and payment. We also have receivables, where we have invoice, where you can be able to make payment application. So I'm just touching the things which we currently use in day-to-day running of the business. We also have the customer, where you can create a new customer. We also have the receivables here. We also have the sales order, the purchases, the inventory, the dashboard, where we are running these beautiful dashboards here. And more, we have the project, where you can be able to manage your project. You can also be able to manage your fixed asset. Currency management, you can be able to manage your taxes, where I want us to focus more. You can also deal with contract management, deferred revenue, marketing opportunity support, payroll, customization, configuration, integration, user security, and low-level security and system management. So don't worry, I would like us to focus on what we currently work with in day-to-day running of the business. So first thing first, I would like us to first see the company configuration as a sitemap here. So at the more, we can come to where we have configuration and come to where we have companies. So when we come to where we have companies under this window, you can notice that our first company, which was Capital, its name is Division 2 Capital. You can notice this is a company without branches, as we saw in the configuration here in the shortcut which I used here to demonstrate to you. So you can be able to see the delivery settings. Under the company detail, what basically we need first to focus is you need to know the base currency which is in under that company. In this case, you can see the base currency is US dollars. You also need to know, you can be able to see the main contact, the main address of that company, and you can also be able to see the configuration settings where you can be able to see the default country which that company is located or its operation is measured in. You can be able to see the cash discount base. It can also, the cash discount can be based on the document amount or can be based on the document amount less the amount of tax. You can be able to see the decimal points, which are very important when you view the business as an aggregate. You can see it have been sent to precision of 2 decimal points. So you can see the delivery settings, the employee of that company, the ledgers, where we have the actual ledgers and the budget ledger. You can also be able to see the general ledger account, the visual appearance, which is so important because this logo is the logo which usually appears in the reports, which is the invoice reports, the sales orders, and so on and so forth. This is the logo which will be appearing here. So you can set this to be the logo of your company. You can also also be able to view the company groups from this section. We can move to company 2, which is the product. So this is, his name is the product 2 revision. So this is a company with branches requiring balancing. So these branches, they are not autonomous, they are semi-autonomous, so they require their balancing to be done in the main company. So under these companies, we have the company details. So what you need to know, you can check the important thing which we need to check here, which is the base currency of the company, and also you need to know how the discount is applied. So the discount is applied under the document amount. So we need to see the branches. So as we saw previously, we have 2 branches, which is the product retail and the product wholesale. You can be able to see all the employee of this company, the branch ID, the employee ID, the name, the department which that employee is, the city which is they are located, the state, their phone numbers, their email, and also their status, because sometimes the employee can get laid off from the company or due to labor turnover, and then that employee is disabled. So you can be able to view the ledgers where we have the actual ledger, the budget ledger, the actual ledgers EU consolidated, the reporting ledger, and the statistical ledger. So the appearance is what I said. So this is the logo which can appear here, the logo of the company, and also we have the report logo which appears in all the reports which we run in Acumatica. We also have the company group, which is the production group. The same logic appears also for us for the service company, where we need to check the base currency, the branches, the employees, the ledgers, the 899 settings, the visuals, and the company group. So bearing that in mind, I would like us now to work on the module which is so important in Acumatica, which is the licensing module, where you can be able to drop the modules which you are not using in Acumatica and be paying for the modules which technically you usually use more consistently, and drop the module which you don't require. Maybe you are like a service industry and you don't need to do any inventory planning. You can drop the inventory planning module and reduce the liability of paying for this ERP. So in order to drop those modules can be dropped under the enable disable feature, which is the licensing module. So some modules can be dropped from this interface here. So you can see we have various modules, but in this scenario, being an unproduction instance, I have enabled a lot of modules here, as many as I can be. That's why you can see I have a lot of menu items here, because I am utilizing technically like all modules. So these are the modules which you use. Maybe you don't need any inventory tracking. You can drop some modules and reduce the reliability of having this ERP. So, but that is not very important for beginners and to understand the concept in Acumatica. So I would like us to begin by creating a customer and see how customers are created in Acumatica. So to create a customers are always found in the receivables part, who are the debtors in this case. So to create a customer, you need to come to where we have customer. So when you come to where we have customer, what you need to do, so let the window open. So you just give it some times to open since I'm using a localhost environment. You need to add a new record. When you add a new record, this window will open. So you need to enter. So this section with stars, they are mandatory. So I just need to come here and enter the name of the customer. So we can assume we have a new customer called Mustard here. Then, so this is customer ID. So I can just write it as MST001. Then I can enter the account name and call this customer Mustard Shop. Then the customer is active. Then I need to come here and fill some details here. So I can enter the account information, the owner's name. Here you can include all the information which you want. You can come here, enter their address, the city which they are in. Then you can come here and enter some financials here in case you want to adjust the terms, the finance terms, write off some limits, account relationship, is this consolidated statement, shared policy. You can also enter the billing information here, if the statement is open, and so on and so forth. So this is how you usually create a customer. You need to enter the details which are necessary. Then after doing that, you can save. So let me add some information. I didn't want to write some emails here, but it will force me to enter. So let me just populate. Let me just enter my email here, which you can reach me using. Let me populate it here. Okay, so I need to come at the billing and see if there is something else I need to enter. So you can be able to enable this customer to be using what currency statement, where you can be able to mix maybe Kenyan shilling with US dollars, Ugandan shilling with the US dollars. So I can try and save now. So can try and save. So we have created a customer. So that is basically what we need when creating a customer. So I didn't need to get into nitty-gritties of this because they are just basic information which everyone can understand. So this is how a customer is created in Acumatica. The same logic follows for the vendors. So from that, after creating a customer, I would like us to also demonstrate to you how you can create a stock or an unstock item in Acumatica. So in case you want to create a stock or an unstock item, you can come to where we have inventory, and you can choose to first create a stock item. So to create a stock item, the same logic we just apply, but let it open and show you how you can create some stock items in Acumatica. So to create a stock item, you need to come here and add a stock item, add a new record in case you want to create a new stock item. So I can enter the stock item ID. I can call them laptop, maybe laptop. Then I can come here and explain more. I can say this is a Lenovo. Is a Lenovo laptop. Then the most important thing, you can input the item class. So the item class is the class which these items rise in. So it makes it easier to be able to create stock item easily. So you can come here and select it as let me see if there is an item as electronics and computers. So, and when I put these, the basic information or the valuation method, which is the average, planning method, which is inventory replenish, Tax category will be auto-populated. It is exempt in this scenario. So, but you can be able to adjust the tax category in case it's taxable from this area. So you can make it a taxable good. So you can come here and choose the posting class, the route and serial number, so it is not tracked. And after you are good with creating this stock item, you must technically have in mind the inventory type and what it represents. So you can save. You can save, and immediately you have created a stock item. So it is easier like that for end users in case you are not doing implementation. So from them, I can show you how you can also do for the non-stock item. The same logic applies. So we can come to where we have non-stock item and create a non-stock item here. So let me click here and add here. And I can create a non-stock item called rent. Let me call it rent. Let me want to make it non-cap, but it is giving me cap, so but I will just write it like that. So it is rent. So I can come here and call it office rent. Then you need to choose the item class. So the item class is where this item or inventory items falls in. So this is usually done in most cases when setting up this Acumatica instance. So this is when doing the implementation. You just need to know the items which you deal with, create an item class which will be giving you the details regarding these items. So, and making creation of stock item and non-stock item very easy. So we can try and search the item class where rent lies. So I can come here and search for rent services, because the variation of, so we can call it services, internal services. So, and you can see maybe it deals with a piece of the office rent which you have, but I can come here and maybe try and check where we have accommodation, or let me try and search for rent, because I wanted to check something which it is correlated with. So I can see it is services. So I can see is warranty and services. So each unit of office rent. So you can see the posting class is non-stock item, and the category taxable, wholesale, and the base unit is each unit of the house, and so on and so forth. And then I can come here and save, and from there you have been able to create a non-stock item. So from there, I would like us to walk straight and try and generate invoices for both the non-stock item and stock items. So what I would like first is to create or to generate an invoice for non-stock item, which you don't need to create or to begin creating it from sales order. You can just, because there is no variation of any stock items, so you can create them easily using the invoice and memo area under the receivables. So you can come under the receivables and come to where we have invoice and memos. When you come to where we have invoice and memo, you can choose to add a new record. When you choose to add a new record, so you should just give it time to populate some to open. So you can choose the customer. Maybe we can choose a customer who we created recently, who I named as MSTD, who is here. This is the customer who we created. So you can see the details about that customer has already pre-populated here. We can come here and put the item description is rent services, and then we can come here and add the branch here. So to add the right detail, you just need to, let me show you. You just need to click this addition sign. So you can see it has selected branches production host. So you just need to choose the inventory ID. So inventory ID, we can choose maybe accommodation, hotel and lodging, or we can choose the one which you have created. I have named it as rent. So you can just choose this one which you have named as rent. So what we need to do, we need to enter the quantity. So we can say the quantity is 1, and we can put the unit prices. We can put a 2 because I want to raise a credit note, and then we can put the unit price is $50, and then so that we get the extended price as 100. So the extended price is basically the multiplication of this quantity multiplied by the extended by the unit price, giving us the value as this. But in some cases, some people enable the manual method where you can be able to come and just type the extended price here. But now it gets problematic when you have done tax customization, and it usually affects the calculation logic. But when you get there, we shall cross the bridge at that point. So from that point, you can see this is office rent as I had described it here. So because we have already created this invoice, but you can notice in one invoice we can have different line items. So in this scenario, we can add a second line item also and name it as maybe we can take accommodation and hotel. So we can say, we can call this rent services and accommodation. So we can come here and we can say, we can call it administration charges. So we can put the units were 3, retailing as at $100, and giving us the extended price is 300. So in this invoice area, you can have different line details, but in this case, we have created invoice originating from non-stock items, which are services. So we can release this invoice. So when we release this invoice, you can go ahead and choose to pay, and that is applying payment and application. But in this scenario, I want to first view the invoice in the invoice report. So to view the invoice report, we just need to click this three dotted icon and come to where we have print. So as you can see, we have this invoice here, and it have captured the logo which I demonstrated to you in the company configuration. So you can see this is the amount which I am demanding this customer to pay, who is the master shop. So you can add some details here. I can add some details so that it can be more comprehensive, like the email and contact and so on and so forth, and also maybe the TIN number or the tax registration number to be compliant in case it is an invoice tax report. So this is the report here, which we have here. So this report, it contains all these details, which is the number of the item, the quantity the unit price, the discount amount, which was 0, and the extended price. So I would like us to go back again, and I would like us to deal back again to where we did that transaction to the flow. And you can be able also to email this invoice to your client. So you can be able to mail these invoice so easily by just clicking mail, and you can be able to email this document as PDF. So they are here. So you just need to come here and choose mail. So also you can be able also to let me show you. So you can be able also to, let me print again and show you. You can be able also to print these invoices by just exporting them as PDF, and you can get them in your gadget and be able to print them as hard copy. Also, you can be able to send these invoice, so you can be able to email these invoice to your client using the email activity. So, and we have auto-generated mail here, which is, this is an automatic to notify you have new invoice. So you can email from, this is admin, to this customer, and you can be able to send this invoice, which has the attachment of this invoice. So that email is went to under the email activity. We can be able to view it. So we can go to all mail. We can go to where we have email, all mails, and see that email which contains those invoices. So as you can see, this is the email. You can see it contains the attachment of that email which I have sent which contains the invoices which I am billing that client. So basically that is the logic behind it. So we can go ahead and create an invoice originating from a sales order. So a customer has visited you and ordered some commodities. So you can come to where we have sales orders. So this is an email which involves the valuation of stock, which originate from purchase of stock items. So you can come here and click add records. When I click add records, I can come here and choose the customer. Maybe I can choose just this default customer who is in the system. So when I choose the customer, the data will populate because you have already created the customer using the customer screen. So you can you can input the customer order number manually. Then I can input order number as order number one. Let me just to take this value. You can give it that as the order number. So I can come here and add different line details for the sales order. So we can assume that this customer ordered some. We can choose some stock items here. Maybe one of the stock item was let me check for. We can say it is this stainless cup here. So you can come here, enter the quantity. So the quantity we can say it is 2 units, but we have already set the default price here. As you can see, I didn't input the price. The price was entered as a default price. So you can see that the quantity is 2. The unit price is 45, which I didn't type. So as you can see, I'm getting an error that the available quantity of the AMG is not sufficient. So as you can see that the quantity on hand is, we don't have it here. So I can try another product, maybe this one. Also these we don't have quantity in hand. So I need to check some quantities here. Need to check some stock item here. I can try and check for apple. Okay, so as you can see, we have quantity in hand here. So you can see the quantity in hand is 995. The available quantity is 995. And when we make a sale of this item, you notice a reduction in this item. And maybe we can come here and change the quantity which we want. We want to buy a quantity of 100 units. We need to purchase a quantity of 100 units. 100 units, and the unit price is $361.90, which is the default price which has been set, which you can be able technically to be able to change. We also you can be able to see the extended price is $36,190, where we have the margins which are represented here and the ad bill amount. So from there, this is the sales order which you create when the customer order this quantity. So you have quick processing, which you can process up to the area of creating an invoice. But you can come here and first create. So you move from the sales order and first you create a shipment. So you can see that the shipment have been set to be done in this date. You can change the shipment date, but it will just remain the same. We just keep it the same to the date which you do shipment, because you can create a sales order today and do some shipment maybe next week. So I need to create shipment. So let us create shipment and go to the shipment area. So let us get to the shipment area. So just give it time, because that is the order which we follow when creating a sales order to the level of creating an invoice. You need to confirm shipment. So you need to check this is the correct amount of the units which need to be shipped. Then after creating these, now you can head on and prepare an invoice, which will be prepared based on the sales order which you had created. So let us prepare an invoice. So but now this invoice will fall under the invoices. So this invoice is here under the invoice. So you can come here and choose to release the invoice. So let me release the invoice. So you can notice the difference between the user interface of the previous area which I had was in the invoice and memo. In this scenario, we are using a modern UI. That's why you can notice some difference between the invoice user interface here. It is technically different from the one in the invoice and memo, as you can see. So let us complete executing this. So it will just take some time to execute, and then we'll go back and I show you how you can be able to do the quick processing, also using the same inventory item, and we can be able to see how it was reduced. So let us give it time to complete executing. So it is taking some time, but we shall wait and see what we shall get. So just give it a minute as it is executing. So as you have seen, when it comes to the sales order, we start from the sales order, we create some shipment, and then we come and prepare an invoice. So from there, you can come here and visualize what we have gotten. So you can print this invoice and see how it appear like. Let us open the invoice. So this is how our invoice appear like. So this is the invoice. You can see that the customer purchase order number is here. You can see the unit which we purchased and the amount which we are requesting the customer to pay. So you can choose to print the invoice or email the invoice, but I had demonstrated this previously. So you can also, in case there was an erroneous application here, you can be able to create to correct the invoice. So to correct the invoice, this is where you can be able to come here and choose to correct the invoice. So to correct the invoice now, let us correct. So you can correct the invoice where you can be able to make any correction which you erroneously made, any error which you had already made. From this invoice, you can hold this invoice, which is on hold as per now, as you can see. But what you have noticed, you cannot be able to change this quantity, because this quantity was already changed when we were creating. It was set up when we were creating the sales order. So you need to be able to correct this invoice. You need to correct it from where we were creating the sales orders. But before we do that, I would like faster to move you on how you can be able to do a quick processing of the invoice using sales order. So basically, I can come here and take this item which is here, Skywalker Trapering, which is here. I need to come here also and create another sales order, and we do quick processing, which makes your work easier. So let me come here and do some quick processing of the sale order. So you can come here and add a new record. You can come here and add a new record. So let us add a new record. Just a minute. So we can choose the customer as the customer who is the first here. Do not go so far. And then it will populate the location and so on and so forth. You can also write some description of this unit, which is this, and add some details. So I just need to understand what it represents, which is need to cancel, which is Skywalker Trampoline, which is technically Skywalker trampoline 15 feet loud. Let me change these to also cap, because I'm experiencing some cap problem with my laptop. Skywalker trampoline. So what you need to do, you can see that the units here have already reduced by their hard rate, which we already configured when we were doing our things here. So we need to come here and maybe try to transact another amount, which is 50 units. The unit price remains the same. So I want us to do the quick processing and see how it works. So let us do the quick processing where it will do a lot of release for us. So let me come here and choose quick processing. So the order will be the shipment date. You can choose tomorrow and choose you can either choose today, tomorrow, or a custom where you can set the date. So we all items available are selected where we create shipment, confirm shipment, update, prepare invoice. Even you can choose release and to send the email, but it will take some time, or we can choose to end ship. So this will be done automatically. So this is what we do to make it short. Is a shortcut where you can be able to process an invoice from sales order without using any customization. So technically it will take some time, but we will be able to visualize how it behaves. So let us give it some time. So it just takes a minute to do it, because actually it is a process, which is the process which it is carrying out from the SQL engine. So it will just take some time to do this processing, but we shall be able to see how efficient it is. But in case you are using a production instance, it is kinda easy. As you can see, as per now, it is creating a shipment, which is shipment 006-636 is created. So it is just move step by step. So it will be giving steps of what it is doing. It is executing the shipment. So it will just take some minutes before it finish. So you can see the inventory document is already created. So it is an automated method. So let us move and see. Let us move and see how it behaves. So you can see the invoice is now created. So it need to release that invoice now and send an email to the customer. So this is an automated method, which is a powerful method which has been introduced by Acumatica, which makes technically our work easier when creating shipments. So let us see the next thing which it does. So just a minute. It technically release this invoice and technically send an email to the customer who you are being processed completed. So we can now get to the invoice and memo, and you'll be the invoices under the sales orders, and you'll be able to easily see that invoice which have been created using the quick processing. So this invoice is here. So to know it is this invoice, I would like to show you something, because this invoice is already created. So let me show you. So as you can see, this invoice is here. It is open. So you can see the units which we had created an invoice for is 50 units, as you can see here. So from there, I was under the concept that in order to be able to correct an invoice which originates from a sales order, you notice that that invoice was created from this section. In case you made an erroneous invoice which you need to correct its details, you can notice that the creation of the invoice started from this section. So this invoice need to be corrected from the sales order area up to where we went and created an invoice. So as you can notice, this sales order was already complete. So we can come here, open the order, maybe try and change so you can see the status is it is now back order, because we have already opened the order. So I also need to create because it will take some time. It will force me to make these in the second video. I'll show you how you can create these. You can be able to reverse an invoice which was created from sales order in order to also to ensure that the stock variation is correct and it was done without any error, so that we ensure that everything we do it is correct. So because we need first to reopen that order and be able to do the necessary adjustments. So what I need to do basically from this point, I need to technically first show you how you can raise credit notes when it comes to invoice which were originating from non-stock item. So that now in the next video I'll be touching on this. So first thing first, I need to come to where we have receivables and come to where we have invoice and memo. So this is where I need us to apply credit note. That is to maybe in case we did wrong billing or billed the wrong amount, and we want to correct these order. So what I can do, you can open the invoice here. We need to open this invoice here. So when we open this invoice, what we need to do basically, we need to come to where we have more, and then we need to come to where we have reverse and apply memo. So this invoice is linked to multiple shipment. So this is the latest one which was originating from invoice and memo. I need to take the one which is originating from sales order. I want to come and select one which is originating from invoice and memo, where we don't have any stock valuation which we need to do. So I need to come here. Then I need to click more. Then I need to come to where we have reverse and apply memo. Then when I come to where we have reverse and apply memo, you can see that a credit note memo is now the type which we are dealing with it here. So I need to come here and change the quantity. So I need to change the quantity to, I want to change this one to change the quantity to 1. And you notice that the external price will change to 50. So I also need to come to where we have application document. So where we have the application document, I need to reduce this amount to, 350. And then I can choose to release the invoice or the credit memo. And you can see now the amount of the document has been reduced to 350. So that is how you can be able to apply credit memos when it comes to this scenario. So you can be able to print the invoice and visualize how it has worked. So in that method, that is how we usually do credit memos when we are dealing with non-stock item. But for stock item is a bit skeptical, since we need to also notice how the stock is being valued. So because that is the reason why I didn't want to touch it when in this video. So you can also be able to apply payment and so on and so forth. So in the next video, I would like us to deal with how you can be able to create credit note, debit notes, which is a new sale, and also to write off some amount when dealing with stock and non-stock item. And also I would like us to tack the tax modules and how we can be able to do some customization regarding taxes when it comes to Acumatica. So thank you for watching, and let us meet in the second section on how to make us proficient in Acumatica. So in case you have any query, you can reach me using the contact in the description, and also using my email or